Section 5.5b is about all the forms of linear equations that we've learned. We're going to do a review of those three forms and then learn how to write them to look like each other. First one is slope-intercept form. And that's what that looks like. The m is the slope, the b is the y-intercept. Second one is point-slope form. Here the m is the slope, the x sub 1 and y sub 1 represent a point that you're given that's not the intercept. And then the last one, which is actually the first one we learned, is standard form. ax plus by equals c, where the a, the b, and the c represent numbers that can not be fractions or decimals, and they have to have a greatest common factor of 1. All three of these are ways that you can write linear equations, and it turns out, since they all have x's and y's and other numbers, you can rewrite one of them to look like another, and that's what we're going to spend time doing to show you the relationship between all of them. Here we have an equation that we're asked to write in standard form. I'm going to put down here what standard form looks like so we know where we're heading. This is how we want to get our equation to look like. The x and the y should be together on the left side, and a number should be on the right side. So we've got to figure out how to get that done. Well, here this is point-slope form. So one thing that you notice that is not in standard form is the parentheses. So I need to get rid of those parentheses first. So I will distribute the 4x plus 8. Now you'll notice the x and y are on opposite sides, and we'd like to get them together. One thing that I would like to do is keep the x value positive, so you can do that a couple of ways. You could move the x over to the left or move the y over. It won't matter. I'm going to subtract the 4x here and then do something else a little bit later. Now notice I didn't put the 4x with the y because those are not like terms. So we end up with negative 4x plus y minus 5 equals 8. Now the x and y are in the right spot, but I have to move this 5 away, so I do that by adding 5. So negative 4x plus y equals 13. Now it looks pretty good, but remember I said we'd like the x value to be positive. So I'm going to divide everything by negative 1, and that way I can cancel out the negatives here and make it a positive 4x, but then that turns this to a minus y, and this is a negative 13. And so now this is in standard form. 4x minus y equals negative 13. It's the same line that we started with, it's just written in a different form. This one up here is point-slope form, this one down here is standard form. We'll do that again. This one's very similar, so it's the same steps, just let you to practice it again. We'll distribute that negative 3/4. And then this will be a plus 3/4 because two negatives equal a positive. One thing that I notice here, I cannot have fractions in standard form. So here's standard form down here, and a, b, and c cannot be fractions. So I need a way to get rid of all these fractions. Well, the way you do that is you multiply every term by the denominator. So I'm going to multiply every single term, there are 4 terms here, by the denominator, the common denominator. You'll see what happens. So over here the 4's will cancel, leaving me with a plus 3. Here the 4's will cancel, leaving me with a minus 3x. 4 times 3 here is 12, and 4 times y is 4y. Now remember, I want to get it in standard form, so I need to move the x to the left. I'll do that by adding 3x. There are no other like terms here, so it's just going to be 3x plus 4y plus 12 equals 3. It's pretty close to standard form. The only thing that I need to do is move the 12. So we'll subtract that. So 3x plus 4y equals negative 9. That looks good. It is now in standard form. Here we have some more equations. This time we have to write them in slope-intercept form. So I've written down what slope-intercept form looks like down here because that's what we're trying to get to. Slope-intercept form, if you notice, has a y isolated, and then the x and the b are on the other side. So we don't need the parentheses again, so we can get rid of those by distributing. Now the only thing I have to do is isolate the y, and it looks like I'll have it. So here y plus 6, I'm going to subtract the 6. So y equals 2x minus 10. I have the y by itself, I have the 2 being my slope, and the negative 10 was my b. That is now in slope-intercept form. Same idea over here. Distributing the negative 2/3. Now when I distribute the 2/3 to the 6 will cancel with the 3, leaving a 2. Negative times the negative will give me a plus 4. Now the thing with the slope-intercept form is you can have fractions in that form, unlike the standard form. So this negative 2/3 is okay. All I'm going to do is get rid of the positive 3 by subtracting. So the y is isolated, negative 2/3 is my m, 1 is my b. That is in slope-intercept form.